Hello, it's Toaster Party, and today I'm going to talk about what my picks are for the 5 best decks in Magic the Gathering Arena's new Timeless format. So it was recently announced that we'd be getting a new format on Magic Arena, and it's basically vintage, where there's no ban cards on this. It's using every single card that's on the client, that being including all of the Alchemy historic cards as well. But basically, everything will be legal, and also all this stuff from the new Cons of Tarkir remastered stuff is going to also be on here. So here are my picks for which decks I think are going to be the best in this format. Starting things off with number 5, we have 5-color control. Basically, a lot of these are just going to be a list of what broken cards the decks can use. So, with 5-color control, they have access to Field of the Dead, Uro, Fairy Time Raveler, Counterspell, Memory Lapse, Swords to Plowshares, and Brainstorm. All of these things being banned in Historic. What makes this this deck very interesting is all of the access that it will have to be able to get to the 5-color stuff a lot more easy because of the fetch lands will be legal, and having access to a lot of these really powerful control pieces makes me think that this is going to be a very powerful strategy going into the format. Up next we have number 4, Mono Red Prison. While not having as many broken cards as I would say 5-color control does, it does have access to one very important card, that being Blood Moon. So the main focus of this deck will be to try getting down Blood Moon as fast as possible through things like acceleration with Ragavan or any other thing that can be done to be able to make sure that you have 3 mana on turn 2, because a lot of decks will want to be using non-basic lands. This will be able to shut down a lot of different decks. Let's move now to number 3, to another mono-red deck, or possibly Boros. We have Burn. This is a deck that I believe will be able to be fast enough with having Lightning Bolt to be able to kill before a lot of the broken stuff will end up mattering. The only thing that really hurts it is that Uro is also going to be legal, and that doesn't bode well for this deck. But I think it still will be a very powerful strategy against all the non-Uro decks. Moving now to number 2, we have Temur Delver or Temur Control. Has stuff like Ragavan, Minsk, Uro, Oko, Counterspell, and Lightning Bolt. Basically, the Temur piles are going to be packed with very high card quality, regardless of whether they're going with a more tempo route or going with a more controlling route. And finally, we have number 1, Grixis Death Shadow. This is the deck I would describe as being the most complete of any of the strategies, having pretty much all of the cards that it ran when it was running Rampant and Modern, and also having a lot of other stuff as well that it would have in the Legacy variants of this list. So it has Ragavan, Lurrus with Bauble, that's a very important one for long grindy games against some of these more grindy decks, Counterspell, Brainstorm, and it probably fuels Delve better than any of the other decks on this list. Another really important part of this deck is that it has access to Thoughtseize, and it can use it very well. And because of all of the broken cards in the format, being able to target your opponent's hand to take said broken cards is going to be incredibly good. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you all have an excellent day.